Another one gone far too quickly. Thank you for joining me after the weekend, the final weekend of April, the last Monday of April, wrapping up here in just a few hours, as well as is this most recent beautiful run of weather. We've got a front coming tonight. Now, this is giving some severe weather to other parts of the nation, some neighboring states, maybe into Kentucky, but as it continues to march in our direction, it's going to continue to get weaker. It does not appear to be right now much of an issue for eastern Kentucky during the overnight tonight or early tomorrow, but it is the weather and therefore not a certainty. And we, of course, are going to ask everyone to keep their eye on changing conditions should there be any. We need some rain, without a doubt. Hopefully we will get some. We are going to as well see some cooler temperatures. Derby Day this weekend, a lot of events on the community calendar tonight for the annual first Saturday in May, and a lot of that's going to be under some definitely milder temperatures that I will update you on in just a few moments. Certainly a lot going on there, a lot going on the news desk tonight, and a lot of it, to be quite honest, is tragic. Before I get to news from over the course of the weekend and today, and an update on the status of the Sagersville Post Office as well, going back to Friday, I do have just a brief update on the incident, the accident that happened at the Floyd County Senior Citizen Center Friday that I told you involved one vehicle that was moving, at least one or two parked vehicles, then of course three other members of the Floyd County senior community which were struck. One is said to be still in serious, actually critical condition. As I told you last evening, there was a Chevrolet passenger car driven by 79-year-old Mary Dotson of Prestonsburg. She was leaving the senior center, backing out of her parking spot, and witnesses say the vehicle slowed as it appeared to have cleared the parking stall or spot and then almost came to a complete stop before suddenly accelerating rapidly. It hit two parked and unoccupied vehicles in the parking lot. It then struck Mrs. Ada DePoy, who was 80 of Prestonsburg, also leaving the event that had been being held at the senior center. And it drug her along some 20-25 feet underneath the car. Dotson's vehicle then also hit the building, seriously striking the building, and as well continued backwards, striking a bench where 67-year-old Charles Wallen and 69-year-old James McGuire were sitting just taking a break. All four had been at the senior center that day for the activities that they were holding. DePoy was airlifted to the Pikeville Medical Center, as I understand, is now in Lexington at the UK, I believe, and is considered to be stable but critical condition. The others suffered injuries, but not as life-threatening as DePoy's. A preliminary investigation by Lieutenant Jeremiah Watson with the Prestonsburg PD and other officers says it appears as though Dotson mistakenly depressed the accelerator pedal as she intended to hit the brake, and it just appears to be just a very serious and tragic accident. There was I hate to say similar, but a car versus building accident in Sagersville earlier today that resulted in no injuries that I'm aware of, but at least a temporary closure of the Sagersville Post Office. This is actually the second time in as many weeks that a vehicle has struck a Sagersville business or facility, if you want to refer to the post office in that manner. Just a couple of weeks ago, the Ace Hardware store was struck in the front of the building. I am told that those inside really had an awakened moment because of the sound and the intensity of the collision, which did leave some damage, but fortunately, like this one at the Sagersville Post Office, did not result in any serious or we believe even any minor injuries to the person who was behind the wheel of the vehicles. This was earlier this afternoon at the Sagersville Post Office. The gentleman driving this Ford F-150 told Officer Donovan Watson with the Sagersville Police that he was pulling up to get his mail and his hip or leg just kind of locked up and he could not get it off the throttle in time. The vehicle going through the building, a large hole there, punched through. I did speak with owners of the facility just a few moments ago and confirmed that the two members of the post office federal government have been here, surveyed the site. It has since been covered, as you saw just a few moments ago, and is expected to be back open for business tomorrow. So the brief closure today for the rest of the afternoon to assess the situation should be over, and they should be back open for regular business again starting in the morning at the Sagersville Post Office. I'll be right back.
There are several risk factors that may put a patient at risk for heart disease.
Especially people who have diabetes or hypertension or high cholesterol and have a family history of heart disease.
Neglecting to see a cardiologist can put you in trouble. You may develop problems that may not be reversible.
We see many people who do not have an actual diagnosis of a heart problem, but may be at risk of heart disease, and we do whatever we can to help mitigate that risk to help prevent disease in the future. ARH, more for Appalachia.
These are actual recent images of local heating and cooling systems, residential and commercial, an example of 75% of all the calls that Ultimate Air responds to. Little or no maintenance, or sometimes someone else being paid to maintain a system. Prevent 75% of your breakdowns with preventative and actual maintenance by Ultimate Air. Locally owned, locally trusted.
Hello, McGoffin County. My name's Tommy Howard. I'm a candidate for County Judge Executive in McGoffin County on the Republican ticket. I'm proud to be a candidate in the nomination for the Republican Party. I want to talk to you just a few minutes about my opponent. Do you realize that my opponent was the county chairman for the Democrat Party for over 20 years? Do you realize what kind of problems that he caused in our county? Let's go back just a few years. Remember when H.B. Arnott run against my opponent and beat him in the primary a few votes? People begged H.B. Arnott to not let that machine sit overnight, that something would happen. But the good man that H.B. Arnott was, he felt like that it was over with. But the next day, guess what happened? Doc Hardin become the nominee. So do you want to go back to that? Do you want to go back to where we had to go to court to try to figure out problems that we had during his Democrat Party chairman, during his administration as his judge? Several people got tucked away from their families and went to prison for this man. I'm sure that our people in McGoffin County realize that this time, this can't happen no more. So let's stop this. Let's nip this in the bud. Let's go on and be a better county than what people thinks that we are. I'm proud of my county, and I know you are too. But help me get rid of this problem, and I'll help you, and I'll work hard to try to do what we need to do, and we'll do it right and legal. Vote Tommy Howard, County Judge Executive, McGoffin County, Republican. Thank you.
Saturday, May the 2nd, 9 a.m., mark it down. A going out of business sale and auction at Prestonsburg Gun and Pawn. A once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Over 100 guns, hundreds of knives, the tools, the chainsaws, the collectibles are all going at auction. 903 North Lake Drive in Prestonsburg by Prestonsburg High School. And for more information, contact auctioneer Brent Tackett at 606-496-5877.
Youth.
Experience.
Modern solutions to modern problems.
Proven solutions to legal problems.
An emerging face in the courtroom.
A known presence in the courtroom.
Together, we are multifaceted.
Together, we will do right by you.
If you are having any legal issues at all, just relax and call Max.
If a car wreck is causing you pain, just pick up the phone and call Donald Wayne.
A fatal dog attack in eastern Kentucky, neighboring Floyd County, over the course of the weekend yesterday afternoon, and it has left more than one family and a community stunned as to how it happened. This was not the victim's dog, but it was a neighborhood dog, one she was familiar with, one that a lot of folks in the Maytown community were familiar with, one she had walked with down her street on numerous occasions, and for whatever reason, still unknown. And there's even, as I understand, according to the Floyd County Sheriff's Office surveillance video that supports what happened, shows that it was just a completely unprovoked attack. She was walking with the dog that she knew and had befriended, and the dog knocked her down. The attack began, and then someone found her in that location. It was reported to authorities. She was pronounced dead at the scene just a short time later, and authorities, again, and families still trying to just wrap their head around what may have caused the attack. The dog has since been euthanized, said to have been a German Shepherd or like large breed. An officer involved shooting in neighboring Johnson County saw a McGoffin County man shot after he refused to obey commands of authorities and attempted to elude them. Official report from Post 9 of KSP in Pikeville says that their critical incident response team was requested to investigate an officer-involved shooting that happened Sunday morning around 2 o'clock over in Johnson County, the preliminary investigation of which indicating that a Paintsville Police Department officer was conducting a foot patrol when he saw a parked motorcycle on Main Street. That motorcycle matching the description of one which had been reportedly stolen earlier and reported to authorities as such. And a short time later, the officer encountered 37-year-old Sean Gayhart of Sayersville, who, after seeing the officer, took off on foot, ran a short distance before the officer caught up with him. There was a physical altercation that ensued as Gayhart continued to resist until a second Paintsville Police Department officer came onto the scene and assisted, both using their tasers to try to get Gayhart to respond to their commands, but they were still unsuccessful to the point that they discharged their firearms, hitting the suspect. Still, so far, an unknown confirmed number of times, but we are trying to find out more about the shooting itself. As for Gayhart, he was taken to the Pikeville Medical Center. Last listed says the KSP in stable condition. They say that the investigation is still continuing. The investigation into the stolen motorcycle, whether or not it matches the one or was the one involved, is still yet to be determined. But they do confirm that they found and recovered a knife and a firearm at the scene of Gayhart's arrest. The McGoffin County Special Olympics Organization is going back to state to defend a number of their titles that they have won and brought home from the last 2 years with your help. They're going in June after an outstanding performance at regional competition last week with several first and second place finishes and a lot of others. It's about a $1,400 round trip for all the athletes, for the motels, the entry fees, the food, to make it a completely 100% free event for the athletes and their families. And, of course, you know the man to contact if you can help, Paul Gumby Montgomery. He has Apple Pay at 606-424-6302. Drop a check in the mail if you would so like to help. P.O. Box 117 here in Sayersville. He's got a PayPal account, of course, as well. I will have all that in a visual and on the calendar tomorrow, just kind of planting the seed there in hopes that you can help get those kids and athletes back to state this year. So a lot of other headlines right now, a new McGoffin Farm Bureau calendar with a few reminders as well. We'll start off with a tasty reminder that District 3 is having a big fish fry tomorrow evening, 5 until 8. It's just $10 for the meal, add a drink for just $1. This is takeout only, but you can get their famous fish dinner with fish fries, puppies, and slaw, or a barbecue sandwich meal as well. Take your pick. Take them both. Great meal, great bunch of folks, and they hope to see you tomorrow, 5 to 8 at District 3 Fire Department. Coming up Wednesday of this week, the free health fair at the community center. While this is hosted by our McGoffin County Senior Citizen Center, this is open to the public, and they hope to see as many of you as possible. 9 to 11 a.m. 9 to 11 a.m. Wednesday, 2 hours. If you have any questions, call Marlene at 5152. But all sorts of free services, a lot of providers, a lot of great resources there. This week is the second week. I can go ahead and erase the first one there, I guess. Maybe they'll think about that tomorrow. For the McGoffin County Spring Cleanup Campaign, it's for District 1 this week, wrapping up this Friday, and then next week, of course, will be the last and third week. The Elk Creek Free Will Baptist Church wants to remind everyone of their open bass fishing tournament. This Saturday, they'll blast off from Clay Lick Boat Ramp at 7 a.m. Contact Tammy Hensley if you have any questions. $1,000 for first place. I'm Henry's Hot Dog Company, sponsoring one of the 8, I think, big fish per hour prizes for $100, and it's a great tournament. The McGoffin County Rescue Squad media auction this week, and starting tomorrow, I'll go down your still unchanged, but still list of channels where you can get, of course, in the paper, the list and everything you need to know, but it starts this week. Trader Days is coming back this Saturday, hosted by the Royalton Community Council at Half Mountain Park. It's $15 is all it is to be a vendor if you want to be. Food vendors are $30, but still a bargain. Bring your own tables and tents. They're going to have a lot there. Call Janice. Message Janice Rao on Facebook if you want to set up or have any questions. But Trader Days this weekend as well, Saturday 9 to 5 at Half Mountain Park. And don't forget the Prestonsburg Passage Golf Cart Tour coming up through October the 17th, the third Saturday of every month. Call Archer Park's main office at 886-6390. Ask for Felicia, and that's how you can get your spot reserved to take the trip. 17-mile round trip for those who can't usually bike or walk, of course, but have a golf cart and want to really have a wonderful opportunity to see the Prestonsburg Passage. Call me if you have any questions about the calendar or just need something put on. And, of course, that includes our birthdays and anniversaries, too. I do have one other announcement tonight in obituaries brought to you by the McGoffin County Funeral Home. And as I understand, services are to be announced later for 50-year-old Jessica Gale Ellis of Combs Street in Sagersville. She passed away yesterday at UK. The daughter of the late Kenneth Lambert, Ray Ellis, and Edith Ellis Likens. Her children, O'Neill, Brandy, and Jeremiah and James, also preceded in death. Jessica enjoyed spending time with her family and friends, and services will be announced at a later time by the Sagersville Funeral Home. For home, farm, hillside, or anywhere you need it, A&W Tree Services offers professional tree and brush trimming, removal, and complete cleanup. They're experienced, insured, and have great references. Call for a free estimate, 496-9385 or 9442. A&W Tree Services.
At the Pierrest School, students are challenged and supported every day. With so many fantastic students, this week's Student Spotlight of the Week is Queenie Hatton, First Honor Student, President of the Student Council, President of the Drama Club, President of the Environmental Club, Vice President of the Calisons Movement, Vice President of the National Honor Society, and is a biology major still in the process of choosing a college.
Fact number 1, seasonal allergies can happen year-round. Fact number 2, sometimes you can just literally see them. And you just can't always avoid allergens. So talk to your doctor about prescribing allergy medications and explore over-the-counter allergy relief with the professionals you trust at Parkway Pharmacy in Sayersville. Conley Tire, your most trusted source for tires, wheels, maintenance and repair, lift kits, and more. With inexpensive and reliable computer diagnostics, big discounts on big-name tires year-round, and everything you need to travel safe at Conley Tire in Staffordsville or conleytire.net.
There are buttons to button, snacks to prepare, math problems to help with, and boo-boos to kiss. If you have people who need you, you need life insurance. Talk to a Kentucky Farm Bureau agent about a policy that protects the ones you love. Kentucky Farm Bureau Insurance. Big on commitment.
Ranked in the very top 10% of the top 150 Kentucky workers' compensation attorneys for Social Security, disability, SSI, personal injury, or workers' compensation, if your working days are over, meet Grover. 888-9-GROVER or locally 349-2065. Saving, planning, budgeting, investing, all the financial steps that it takes to enjoy the real ones. Let Sayersville National take the journey with you with the peace of mind of secure online and mobile banking, overnight deposits, safe deposit boxes, and all of your home, auto, consumer, and business loans. Sayersville National Bank since 1902.
I wonder, could this be our last trip together? What if I upset him? He might never call again. But what if I don't say anything?
Hey, Dad. Is something wrong?
Actually, are you okay?
If someone you know or love is struggling, contact Big Sandy Healthcare today.
Hello, I'm your McGoffin County Sheriff, Bill Meade. We are now within a month of the primary election. I just wanted to go over a few things that we have done over the past 3 years. We have doubled the state-level indictments from the previous administration. We have prosecuted 17 people in federal court on drug-related offenses, stopping over 1,200 pounds of meth and heroin from hitting the streets of our communities. Magoffin County is now among the lowest in overdose deaths in the state. We have responded to over 18,000 calls for service in the city and in the county over the past 3 years. We have utilized grants to acquire office-issued pistols, rifles, ballistic vests, and helmets for our deputies, court security officers, and for our school resource officers, all without costing the county a dime. We were also able to acquire 3 Humvees through the LESO 1033 program. They will be used for extreme weather events such as heavy snow and flooding, again, without cost to the county. We have worked very hard with a small staff to make Magoffin County a safer place to live and to raise your family. I would appreciate your vote and support for the May 19th primary election. I'm number 1 on the ballot and number 1 for Magoffin County. Thank you very much.
2 women from New York were found in a tent with several ounces of methamphetamine by local police here in Magoffin over the weekend. 2 women, reportedly from Owego, New York, identified by the Magoffin County Sheriff's Department as Angie Marie Lawrence and Stacy Ann Fisk, were arrested for trafficking in methamphetamine and criminal trespassing in the 2nd degree. Same charges for both thus far, both of which are still in the Big Sandy Regional Detention Center. This after the Sheriff's Department got a reported call of trespassing on property off of Whit Branch Spur. When authorities arrived, they found the 2 women and the homeowner, who said that he did own the property and did not know who was staying in a tent on the property, saying that someone had been in one of the old homes that he'd owned. A lot of their belongings were reportedly inside. And after giving permission to search the tent, Deputy Connor Reisner found a bag with flowers on it. Inside the bag, not flowers, but a black zip-up case that had spoons, straws, pipes, other paraphernalia. They also found about 4 ounces of what was said to be high-grade or quality methamphetamine as well. The woman claiming to authorities initially that they had moved here, had purchased the property, and were living there in a tent temporarily before they would move into one of the residences, all of which was confirmed false after again speaking with the property owner. Now, on to a much more active forecast. Now, we are under the gun this evening for the possibility of some severe weather. This is not the weather that we're talking about as of right now, but you can kind of see where the thunderstorms are moving. They're just on the, of course, or over the far northern parts of Kentucky. We will see little else here in eastern Kentucky for the next several hours. However, there are going to be some stronger lines that are still not anywhere close to Kentucky during the overnight. I think that they will continue to digress and kind of just weaken as they get here to where we might not see any severe weather, but it is the weather, and there is a chance for some showers and maybe potential thunderstorms. So keep that in mind. I think the window looks to be after 3 or 4 o'clock for us in the a.m. Lows around 58 degrees tonight. Winds 5 to 20. I mean, we're talking about a 1/4 of an inch maybe of rainfall unless we get a good downpour from a few thunderstorms during the overnight. That leads us into your Tuesday, where it will be not 87 like it was today, but closer to 77. Still winds out of the southwest to 23 miles per hour. I think will be cloudy, gradually becoming sunny late in the afternoon. And rainfall amounts tomorrow, again, on the high side, 1/4 of an inch in totality, unless we see some thunderstorms and some folks get some heavier rains in some isolated areas, which we all really do need. We need some rainfall desperately, but not looking like a widespread rain event. But keep your mind focused on the point that could be some good thunderstorms. Temperatures taking a dive thereafter. So 87 today, 77 tomorrow. Wednesday, we're down in the low 70s with winds as well, again, up to 15, 16 miles per hour or so out of the west. Chance of precipitation, 100%, maybe ½ inch of rain Wednesday. Thursday, as you saw, all the rain's gone, mostly sunny, 65. And then there we have it. Friday, 65, mostly sunny, a lingering 30% chance of some run-of-the-mill showers. Saturday, I think we're above the frost mark, 60 and 37. Talk more about that later, see how those numbers hold pat. Mostly sunny, a 30% chance of showers for Derby Day, but cool across Kentucky. 60 degrees this Derby Day. I want to say it wasn't that cool, but it was definitely Was it a little cooler last year than average? I'm not sure. Maybe. Anyway, 66 recovering and sunny on your Sunday. Monday of next week, mostly sunny. 72 after 3 days in the 60s, it looks as though, and a slight chance of some showers. Definitely more to talk about on the weather tomorrow. And that will wrap it up for this Monday. Just getting started, wrapping up this month of April and going on into May on a cooler note. Certainly it does appear as though, but I'll see you back here tomorrow as those changes are happening and continuing to happen weather-wise. Keep your eye on the weather tonight. Just because it looks like everything's going to mostly fizzle out before it gets here, it indeed is the weather, and it cannot be trusted. Thank you for watching. Good night, and I will see you back here tomorrow.